welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock on a Monday, which means it's time for a 5x5. This is where I take 5 subjects related to magic. I spend 5 minutes talking about each subject. There's a countdown timer at the bottom of the screen. When the countdown reaches 0, I move on to the next person. It's quick, it's snappy, you never know what you're going to get. Now today, I'm going to start off, like I have the last few weeks, with a live performance. So I'm going to play a video of me doing a live performance at a gig, so you can see exactly the sort of thing that I do at a gig. And then the second of the 5 segments is going to be me breaking down that performance. So we're going to play the same performance again, but there's going to be a commentary track over the top, and I'm going to talk about what I did, why I did it, why it made sense to me. And we tend to talk about things like angles and blocking and audience management and trick selection. You guys seem to really get a kick out of the live performances. I don't think there's anybody else doing them on YouTube, so as long as you like them, I'll continue to do them. There are, however, going to be a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to be going through this week, including a deck review of a really cool deck of cards that I'd like to bring your attention to. So without further ado, let's get straight into it and have a look at this week's live performance.
Richard, this is a little whiteboard. We're going to play a gambling game, Richard, but not for money. Not for money. Apparently we've played before. Not for money, just for fun. So you do not want to play me for money. I should come with a public service now, since I really should. The idea is really simple. I'm going to draw on this little whiteboard here with a whiteboard marker. And the idea is really simple. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. You get the questions right, you win. You get the questions wrong, you lose. I promise you, the most logical answer is, of course, the correct one. So, if you're ready, we'll begin. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So, Richard, how many X's?
What, on front and the back?
Yeah, total.
Total? 6.
6, exactly. Yeah, 6. It's not hard. Now, the first bit is where I lull you.
It was tricky, though.
Yeah. Well, the first bit. Yeah. First bit's where I lull you into a full sense of security. I'm going to go really slowly. Watch. If I take away one of those X's, how many does that leave?
It's a tricky one, but I'm going to say 5.
Then you would be correct. Of course, if I snap my fingers, you only get 4. I know, right? It's so annoying. Let me go back. Look, I'm going too fast. You probably didn't see that. Let me go back to when we had 6. So we've got 6 X's, right? We'll start again. I know, we worked 6 X's. So if I take away one of those X's right there, how many does that leave? The answer's 4. It's 4. Try to keep up. Look, I'll do it again.
I'll try.
What you should be reading.
I am the slowest one.
No, it's okay. It's my fault.
This IT stuff is not good, mate.
Have you ever helped a magician before?
Never.
You're not helping one now. Look, here's the thing. I'm going to catch you up. Whatever happens on this side, happens on the other side. Right, okay. So if I take away 1...
Yeah, that's 2.
No, it's 3. So how many in total?
I'm going to say 2 then.
No, there's still 3. How many there?
Okay, 3.
No, there's 2. Look, we go back to when there were 4. Right, so we've got 4 X's, right? Okay. Yeah. I don't know you very well. I'm guessing that's your pissed off face. Now, look, there's 4 X's. If I take 1 away, obviously, the correct answer is that now there are 2, right? But I'm going to explain how it works. Yeah, you're looking confused. I'll explain how it works. Look, watch. Yeah. It's there. Both X's are down that end. Yeah. If I do this, I can move them down there. If I flick it, watch. I can move them back up there. I can keep doing this until you like it, my friend. But what? Big finish, you're going to do this yourself. Look, you're going to extend your finger. Now remember, there's 2 X's down there. You're going to rub just the top one off. Completely off. Guess what? I go by the name of Craig. Very good. Now when that's off, the weird thing is the one off the bottom goes off as well. Now it's right there on your finger. You're going to throw it up in the air when I say go. I'm going to catch it here at that end, and if it goes back on, every single person here is going to give a big round of applause to you and me.
To me?
Mainly me. There we go. Yeah. Here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
On 3. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Up in the air. That's very good. And there they are. Both back on there, and that's the trick. And you can examine that.
Okay, so this is Turbo Stick by Richard Sanders, which is just an incredible routine. The nice thing about this, as you can see, is that you can do it completely surrounded. There's no angle issues at all, and it is a very engaging style of presentation. Now, I've actually spoken to magicians in the past, and they've said, I'd never do this in a million years because, it looks like a toy. But in all honesty, my attitude is you do what works, and this is a routine that really works. Now, one thing that I will tell you is that, and have been doing this recently in COVID times, is this stick looks a little bit like a lateral flow test. So instead of using X's, if you use lines, you can come up with a really interesting presentation about testing positive or negative for COVID, and that there's a new test that they've replaced the PCR test with that's based on observation, because apparently, your observation skills fail if you've tested positive, and it's for the right crowd, for the right place, it's a really nice routine. Now, one thing that I want you to see with this particular presentation, the spectator is going to be wrong over and over and over again. You have to do it in a very tongue-in-cheek way. Your character has to be the right type of character. My character is kind of a charming cheat, a con man, that's always trying to pull the wool over somebody's eyes. So I can get away with this sort of thing, and you can present this in different ways, but I do like presenting it in a way of, it doesn't matter how hard you try, there's absolutely no way that you're going to be able to catch what's going on. And the really nice thing about this routine is that it's obviously, other than a few paddle moves, really easy to do. Now, notice how I'm doing the paddle move. One of my bugbears with magicians is they rotate the whole arm. The paddle move is just done so badly because you're bringing the whole arm up and down again. Notice when I'm doing the paddle move, I'm rotating my wrist. And I'm not making a big deal of it. I'm not saying, look, let me show you the other side of this stick. I'm literally, as I'm talking, just showing them both sides. And that really is the most effective way to do it. Now, towards the end of the routine, again, one of the nice things about Turbo Stick is that you've got a big finish. And for some reason, I see a lot of magicians that don't do the finish to this routine. And to be honest, I think it's the finish that absolutely makes it. And it's this moment right here where they use the finger to pull the X off. It's blank on both sides. So when they pull the one X off, the other X disappears as well, and then they throw it back on. And then immediately you'll notice, as soon as they do throw it back on, I wipe the X off and I give them the stick to look at. I mean, honestly, if you had to make a list of the most commercial tricks of all time, this would absolutely have to make the list. There's no table required. You can do it completely surrounded. It's an engaging presentation that you can do in so many different ways, and it's easy to do. And if you don't do the Turbo Stick, I really implore you to go and try it, because when you try it, even just for the first time, you'll realize just how good the Turbo Stick is. And, it might not be for everybody, but for the right crowd, for the right time, for the right place, that lateral flow test presentation using sort of lines instead of X's, it gets a great reaction. Right, I'm going to do a sneak peek for you now, an interview that's coming up this Saturday, and that interview is with Danny Weiser. Now, who is Danny Weiser? Danny Weiser is one of the most prolific magicians in magic right now. He works with a lot of different companies. He's produced a lot of magic over the years. He's just come up with the Twisted, which is the Sharpie dog, that the Sharpie pen that turns into a dog. But he's constantly got new stuff coming out all of the time. He's a creative force, and a lot of his stuff is fairly easy and relies on subtlety rather than difficult sleight of hand. Well, his interview is great, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. This is going to be a little bit of a sneak peek of that interview, so you get a chance to see a little bit more about what we're going to be talking about. But guys, seriously, you don't want to miss this interview. It's coming soon on Saturday. Let's have a look at a sneak peek.
Oh, do you remember my trick Morio?
Oh, Morio's great. Yeah, I love Morio.
Okay, so another out-of-the-box type of trick. But he actually made me the original prototype of Morio. Like, he handmade out of clay the Oreo gimmick.
Wow.
And he painted it and man, he's built a lot of cool stuff for me.
Yeah, Morio's awesome.
Yeah. So Bizarro's actually was a big help with the with my most recent release, Twister. He loves it. Like, this is up his alley type of trick. He's helped me with like routining of it and some design ideas and just some handlings and whatnot. But like, there's just certain people that I'll turn to for that kind of help. And they're the type of people who have been in the industry for a long time, are really good with understanding materials and like what works and how things are manufactured, and how lay audiences would view it, how magicians would view it, how to market it, things like that. So sorry, we went off on a complete tangent.
It's good.
for anybody watching this, we're getting a masterclass in creativity and you know, and actually, you know, becoming a creator within the magic community. There's a lot of information you're giving here.
I would say another tip to young magicians or to young creators: collaboration. And I'm sure you can understand that, but collaboration is huge, right? There's only so much that you can come up with in your own head, but if once you share it with someone else with a fresh pair of eyes, they can take it in a whole new direction, make it 10 times better. And I've done that multiple times. Almost all of my tricks I've collaborated on with someone who's helped me elevate it to become even better. And that's why letting it sit for a period of time is helpful, right? Because having multiple people see it and look at it. Here's another one. I put out a trick with Mark Mason called Duly Noted.
I didn't know that was you. I know that one. Yeah, that's a great thing. I didn't know that was you. I thought, right, okay, there you go. I thought that was Mark Direct. Well, there you go. You learn something every day. That's a really good trick. I love that trick.
Thank you. So Duly Noted. So Mark is another person who I've known for a very long time. I think I met him at a convention once upon a time. Anyway, so I shared this idea with him, and he took it to a whole, I mean, he's a gimmick king. Mark Mason is like, I just love the stuff that he puts out. He's like the Q to James Bond. You know, he comes up with some really unique gaffes and unique gimmicks, and he's really good at building them too. So he, sorry.
That's all right.
It's the time, it's not the company. So I pitched him this original idea, and he like revamped the gimmick and made it more streamlined and more user-friendly, and being able to do it more than once, which is awesome. So like letting his fresh pair of eyes look at it and think like, first of all, how am I going to manufacture this in a mass run? And two, how can I make this better so it'll last just as long as like any plastic product? You know what I mean? So the collaboration on that was like really what made it become what it is.
That's great. I want to ask you one more question.
Sure.
All the stuff that you've brought out over the years, what's your favorite? I know that's probably a very difficult thing to try and
my favorite trick.
Yeah.
Let's see. I know I have a couple for sure.
Okay.
Conceptually, like concept wise, I would have to say Twister for sure. It's my newer one, but it's the one that I'm probably the most proud of because of how unique it is in concept.
Okay, guys, last week on this 5x5, I did the invisible ACAN from my Beyond Stebbins project because I realised that I'd never really put a full performance of any of the routines on YouTube. So I did full performance of invisible ACAN, and I had so many people say that they bought the project based off that performance. Which is great, and you know, for everybody who's bought it in the last week, thank you. I'm going to do another performance right now. The invisible ACAN that I did last week, it used the Stebbins deck, but it also used the properties that are inherent with a Stebbins. That it used the extra properties that you get in the Beyond Stebbins project in order to do that routine. In other words, you couldn't do the invisible ACAN with a normal Beyond Stebbins deck. You had to use the Beyond Stebbins deck. However, on the Beyond Stebbins project, there are lots of routines that can be done with just a with a regular Stebbins deck. The nice thing about Beyond Stebbins is that all the routines that you would do with the Stebbins deck can be done with Beyond Stebbins, but there's certain routines that you can only do with Beyond Stebbins that you couldn't do with a regular Stebbins deck. Hopefully that makes sense. Well, this is one of the routines that I put in the project that can be done with any Stebbins deck of cards. What I love about this is there is so much magic that happens, and literally the only move is a double undercut. That's it. If you can do a double undercut, you can do this trick. This is probably one of the easiest magic tricks that I have ever created. Genuinely, the move is the double undercut. I remember when I showed this to my friend Nemid, he's like, I can't believe you get so much magic from one simple move. So you can learn it from Beyond Stebbins. I'm going to perform it for you now. It's called Mentalism versus Prediction. Check it out and let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, Jack, I'm going to show you a trick with a pack of cards and a business card. We'll get back to that in a minute. 52 cards. They are all there. More importantly, they are all different. Is that cool?
Yep.
I don't want the Joker, so we'll take the Joker out. Other than that, we're good. So, Jack, we're going to try and do something right now. Now, normally, when I do magic, and I want somebody to pick a card, I would literally just say pick a card. But the problem is you're behind the camera. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to run this business card down the spread, and you can say stop anywhere you want to. Wherever you say stop, that'll be your card. Now, I should tell you that I'm going to show you the difference between predicting the future and reading somebody's mind. Because there is a difference, and I'll show you the difference right now. But first of all, you can genuinely have any card. So as I run through, just say stop.
Stop.
There, are you sure?
Yep.
Now, it's all about choices. First of all, do you want me to take the card out and put it somewhere else?
No, I'm happy with that.
Okay, so there's a card above it and a card below it. Which would you prefer?
Let's take key above.
The one above it. So you want that one right there.
Yep.
Do you want to change your mind? Because again, you can change your mind if you want to.
I'm good with that.
You're good with that one. Because think about it, you could have had any of them, right? Let me show you the card.
Yep.
And I'm going to leave it down in the middle. I'm just going to give the cards a couple of cuts just so it is lost. Okay? So I'm going to try and read your mind now. Because I'm showing you the difference. And first of all, let me show you what mind reading looks like. Think about it. You could have thought of any card. I gave you multiple times to change your mind. And I don't know what the card is. I didn't see it. So concentrate on the colour of the card. It's a black card, isn't it?
It is.
It's a spade, isn't it?
It is.
That's what I thought. Concentrate on the value of the card. Oh, it's a very high card, isn't it?
Very high.
Very high. It's a picture card.
Yep.
Jack, was your card the Queen of Spades?
How do you know that?
Yeah, I read your mind. But I said I was going to show you the difference between reading minds and predicting the future, right?
Yep.
And I didn't show you what I'd written on the other side of this business card, but on the other side of this business card, I wrote prediction. I wrote 4 numbers, and then I wrote this one with an arrow pointing towards number 5. Oh. And there's a reason for that. Let me show you what the reason is. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the 5th position, we have your Queen of Spades.
No.
I predicted exactly where it would be in the deck, but I also wrote some other numbers down. Check this out. So that was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. I put those other numbers down there as well. You know why?
Yeah.
Because from this shuffle deck of cards, not only did I predict where your Queen of Spades would be, I also predicted where the other 3 queens would be.
What?
As well.
Madness.
Absolutely crazy. So I get feedback all the time about how you guys really enjoy my deck reviews. I don't consider myself an expert when it comes to reviewing decks of cards because I'm not a collector of playing cards. I like playing around with custom decks. Before I started Magic TV, I was very much of the attitude of, I will use a bicycle deck and that is all I will use, or maybe a cohorts deck and that's it. Since doing Magic TV and being bullied by you guys into doing deck reviews, I've actually started using a lot of other decks in my work, but that's the case. I actually use them at gigs. I don't collect them. So you're not going to have a Jason Ladany thing in my office where I've got hundreds of playing cards on the wall and I just sit looking at them goggle-eyed. That's not what I do. I'm not a deck collector. So when I review packs of cards, I'm kind of coming at it from a point of view of, will they work? Do they handle well? Are they pretty? And also, most importantly, do they look different to a normal bicycle deck? Because if you're buying a custom deck of cards that's £15, what's the point if it looks exactly the same from the layman's point of view as a bicycle deck? I may as well use a bicycle deck of cards. So I like cards that look a little bit different. It makes an interesting hook. I can say, hey, I collect playing cards, even though I don't. This is a really interesting deck. I picked it up the other day. It's called the Fluid deck, blah, 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 blah. I love to use it as a hook line. These cards are really cool because they look so different to anything else out there. I love the back design. I love the front of the cards. These are really awesome and super cool, and they handle really well. Let's get the camera a bit closer so you can see a close-up look at these cards. So let's have a look at the Fluid deck. So first of all, the box is really nice. Designed by Adrian Valencuzia, produced and distributed by Card Cuts. The box looks really nice. The tuck case, it's just very clear, very direct. Let's have a look at the cards themselves. What's interesting is you don't get any double backers or anything like that. You get this first card, which is kind of a kind of an advertising card for Card Cuts, and you get another card which kind of looks like a double backer, but it's not, because you've got the Fluid logo there, so it couldn't really be used as a double backer. By the way, the backs of these cards are just beautiful. I love these. I really do like the back design of these cards. I think they look great. So the backs are good. I like that they've got margins as well, which is good. I was worried they wouldn't have when I opened the deck up. Look at the jokers. Again, they fit with the theme perfectly. I love the jokers. Interesting ones numbered the Joker 001, the Joker 002. Don't know what you could do with that, but, you know, it's kind of interesting. And then you've got the actual cards. I love the Ace of Spades. I really do think that Ace of Spades is great. I love how they've taken kind of the back design and the concept of the cards and they've fitted it into the Ace of Spades. But then that theme follows along all of the other pips as well, which I thought was really clever and really nice thinking. I've talked in the past about when reviewing decks, about how I don't like it when it looks just like a normal deck, because I'm not a card collector, I'm a magician. So when I'm using cards like this, I don't bring them out in a gig. And if I've got cards that I'm bringing out and they look fancy, it just elevates what I'm doing, in my opinion. Just my opinion. I do love the court cards are so trippy. I mean, they really are so trippy if you look at them. I mean, it looks like...
That's when cheering high.
I know, right? It's so cool. It reminds me of that trick that... Dan Harlan put out with the, I think it was called Vortex. Really cool. I also like the diamond logo. It almost looks like it's been hand-drawn. You know, it's really cool. And again, the pips on the diamonds are they're following the same pattern as the spades, which is good. Again, trippy cards. I love the court cards. That's what I love about this deck so much. I love the court cards. I think they're awesome. Then you've got, you can probably see by now that the black cards have this green shade to all of the pips, while the red cards have this red shade to all of the pips, but they all follow the same the same concept, and this, you know, the heart, the Ace of Hearts and the Ace of Clubs follow that same sort of pattern as well. So in terms of how they handle very well. Let's give them a Pharaoh and I'll show you exactly what they look like. Here we go. See if we can do a perfect Pharaoh. There you go. I think that's perfect. No, it's not. I was off by one. Oh dear me, close enough. But yeah, they Pharaoh really nicely. They just look really good. They handle really well. Just lovely deck of cards. And I think the most important thing is they handle well, but they also look really good as well. And I think that's part of that's one of the most important things with a custom deck of cards, making sure that they look good and they handle well. And both of these do the trick. There you go, guys. That's another 5x5 in the bag. Thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Here's what I'd like you to do. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. I love your comments. I live and die by them. So please let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Again, leave a comment down below. I'm going to be back again next Monday with another 5x5. And I'm going to be back tomorrow with 3 more videos. At 2 o'clock, I'm going to be here with the shorts. At 9 o'clock, I'm going to be here with a Talk Magic interview. And then at 6 o'clock, I'm going to be here with a Magic Live. So there's a lot coming up. Don't forget, if you want to find out more about Netrix, which is launching very, very soon, just go to www.magictv.org, fill in the contact form, and we will let you know when it goes live. One more time, guys, thank you for joining me here on Magic TV. I'll see you again soon. Have an amazing evening. My name's Craig from Magic TV.